This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. New York is affectionately known as the 15th parish of Jamaica, and for good reason. There are more than 150,000 Jamaican immigrants living in New York City, according to the Center for Migration Studies, and even more in the metro area. As a result of those numbers, especially for folks on White Plains Road in the Bronx or on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn, you can enjoy the best Jamaican food in the city: beef patties, jerk chicken, or saltfish for Jamaican breakfast. You can also enjoy Jamaican cuisine at Miss Lily's, the popular East Village restaurant off of Tompkins Square Park. Andre Fowles was once a chef there, and now he has written a cookbook called My Jamaican Table: Vibrant Recipes from a Sun-Drenched Island. He's also a 3-time Chopped champion and happens to be the private chef for Bruce Springsteen. The boss wrote the foreword to his book. Andre Fowles joined me when the cookbook was published. We took calls then, but because this is an encore presentation, we won't be taking your calls today. Here's our conversation. I'm going to read a little bit from your book. This is a beautiful introduction. It says, dappled sunlight flickering through the trees, a tendril of smoke unfurling from the coal fire, the perfume of red peas rising from coconut milk in a well-worn pot. I can almost taste the thyme and Scotch bonnet. It's like I've returned to my grandmother's kitchen. These are the sights, tastes, and smells that bring me to Jamaica. Tell us about your grandmother's kitchen.
Oh my gosh, you went straight for the heart with that one. You got me emotional. That's actually probably my best paragraph, because as you were reading that, it took me back.
Yeah.
And I got teary-eyed for a hot second. It's just show that food is such the ultimate connector, and it's something that I really wanted to make sure that I captured in the essence of the book. It's not just about the recipes; it's a storytelling, my story, and I'm sure other people can connect to my story. And food is one of those things that everyone can sit around a table and share and talk about just about anything, and it's just something that I'm super proud of.
Mama Cherry was your grandma.
Yes.
She raised you in Kingston. What did Mama Cherry instill in you about cooking?
Firstly, show respect to the cuisine. And if you're going to cook, give it your all. Mm-hmm. Because that's something, growing up in Jamaica, we didn't have a lot, back then. But food was one of those things that my grandmother showed love. So they took it extremely serious, right? So they'll go to the market, they'll shop, they get the best ingredients, and the preparation was meticulous. They put a lot of effort in to make sure that everything was clean, everything was done well, the techniques and everything was great. So I think watching my grandmother work in the kitchen, it instilled great values of just being disciplined, showing love, being respectful, and being kind. And, so the reason why she's named, Mama Cherry is that people often said that she's sweet. She's sweet like a cherry. And her friends would call her Cherry, and we call her
Mama Cherry.
Mama Cherry. Yeah.
What was the favorite dish she made for you that you were like, oh yeah, Mama Cherry's cooking that?
Oxtail. Hands down. That's why my oxtail is the best. Because no, for sure. That's why my oxtail, because I learned from the master. The way how she prepared her oxtail was literally like watching a French master chef. Like everything was meticulous, and her techniques and how she really approached that dish was spot on. So yeah, her oxtail and rice and peas was unbelievable.
What made you decide that cooking was going to be your job? It was going to be your profession?
If I'm being completely honest, growing up in Jamaica, I wanted to practice medicine. But because of my circumstances, my family couldn't afford to send me to school for that. So I was like, all right, cooking is the next best thing. I'm so good at it. I grew up around food because Jamaica is a cooking culture. Like back then, we didn't do takeout. Maybe it's on the weekend we'll grab some jerk chicken or maybe some patties throughout the week, but most of our meals was being cooked at home. So that was something that came naturally. And of course, Jamaica is, a tourist destination. So there's a lot of jobs available. And I'm like, okay, I got to go cook.
We're talking Jamaican cooking. My guest is Andre Fowles, author of the book My Jamaican Table: Vibrant Recipes from a Sun-Drenched Island. A lot of New Yorkers know Miss Lily's. I know Miss Lily's. You were the chef there.
Yes.
You were the chef there, the culinary director of Miss Lily's location in Negril,
Yes.
Jamaica. What do you want customers to feel about Jamaican food when they visit Miss Lily's?
It's an experience, firstly, because New York is the hustle and bustle city, right? We're all here to achieve our goals and dreams. So when you're out in the street, you feel like, all right, you got to go get this done, get that done. But my concept of a restaurant is that once you open that door and you enter, you should be transported. You shouldn't feel like you're in New York anymore. You should feel like you're somewhere in Jamaica, having a good, cocktail or a red stripe beer, listening to some great music, smelling the pimento, as it grill, as we jerk some chicken, having some pepper shrimp. So it's an experience. We want people to feel like, you belong and you're in that moment. And for that, those few minutes or an hour or two, you're just in that one experience.
Oh, you said red stripe.
Yes. Ice cold red stripe. It has to be extra cold.
Yes, it does. All right, let's talk jerk.
Yes.
All right, what are the elements of true jerk rub or marinade? What does it need to have?
So jerk, we can identify jerk as two things. It's a seasoning and it's a method, right? So first thing, the seasoning, it has to have a few ingredients to make it jerk, right? Allspice, pimento, that we call it. You have to have the garlic, the ginger, the thyme, the scallion, and of course, the heartbeat of Jamaica, the Scotch bonnet. But oftentimes, Scotch bonnet, sometimes we can't find that. You can substitute for habaneros, but the flavor is going to be different because Scotch bonnet gives such it's not just about the heat with Scotch bonnet. It has a citrus, a fruity aroma that makes jerk really, really special. And then in terms of the technique, you need some kind of a smoke element to make it extra tasty. Obviously, we can cook in the oven, which will give you a similar taste, but to get like the perfect jerk, you need a combination of the seasoning and the smoke.
Jamaican curry powder is different than the curry powder that we think of. Tell me a little bit about Jamaican curry powder. What sets it apart from other curries?
Jamaican curry powder it's a little bit more mellow in terms of the complexity of the flavor. It's very turmeric, fenugreek, cumin forward. And what really makes the curry dishes special is the combination of the Scotch bonnet. Right,
it all comes back to the Scotch bonnet.
Because the Scotch bonnet is just one of those gifts that keeps on giving, because it's such a fun chili pepper to cook with. Because we do rice and peas, we do soups, and if you know the right techniques and the right different Scotch bonnets and how to use them. For instance, an example: when we make rice and peas in Jamaica, we always use a green Scotch bonnet to just to steep it in that coconut broth, because the flavor of the green Scotch bonnet gives you it's not as spicy, but it gives you that citrus fruity note that makes rice and peas taste so good. And it's because of the Scotch bonnet.
And when you say rice and peas, it's not little green peas.
No.
Please explain.
It's beans, actually. It's red kidney beans. But you know what? We're Jamaicans. We do things our own way. We call it peas.
Let's talk to Zeke in Park Slope. Hey, Zeke, thanks for making the time to call all of it.
Allison, love calling every time calling into you, okay? So, my brother, you hit my heart, and I'm going to tell you why very quickly, in a good way. My mother's Cuban, my father's Jamaican, I'm Panamanian.
Wow.
Okay, number one, okay? I was in Church Avenue 2 weekends ago. I was at home, and I had to say, how do I make cow foot soup? I haven't had cow foot soup. And go, yeah, boy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you were talking now.
Oh,
you know? And I met my first time. It wasn't bad, but it's an art. I wasn't stirring. I was trying to use a pressure cooker, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't do it great, but didn't do it bad. I need your expertise.
Wow. I got to say, cow foot soup, you're talking my language, because I love soups. So cow foot soup, so the first thing, you have to make sure you get a good quality cow foot, right? And ideally, a pressure cooker would then cut your cook time in half, but if not, it's perfectly fine. Once you drop your cow foot in your water, you want to start seasoning from the beginning. So you add a couple of cloves of garlic, your pimento, your thyme, and as it starts to cook, you want to skim that skim that scum that comes on the top, and then you want to start to continue adding your flavor. So you can add your pumpkin, whatever vegetables you want, but always season as you go along. And then once it starts getting a bit tender, you want to crank it down to a simmer, and then just have it just do its thing for the next maybe 30 minutes, and then you're golden.
All right, good luck, Zeke. Let's talk to Brenda in Queens. Hi, Brenda. You called all of it. Thanks for taking the time.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I'm Jamaican, and I have lived in America, in New York, almost 40 years. I came here at 22, and I cook Jamaican food a lot. And what I've discovered is that I'm very disappointed when I eat out to get Jamaican food. So I cook it myself. Additionally, my all-time favorite Jamaican dish is stew peas and rice, and it's because it's something I could eat over and over without feeling like I'm making myself sick or without getting tired of it. There's just something about the stewy red kidney beans that that's the only time I eat seconds. I do not consider myself a foodie, but I can eat that all the time.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for calling.
You write that Jamaica has a nose-to-tail culture, that you don't waste any part of the animal. How does that influence the flavors?
A lot, because the scraps, like what people would say back then, those parts of the animal usually carries the most flavor because it takes longer to cook. As it cooks and it breaks down, the flavors gets more complex. That's why oxtail is on a surge right now. You can't afford oxtail these days. It's more expensive than steak. It's because of just the tendons, the fat, everything that's in it, and it goes, and of course it goes back to cow food. It sounds taboo when people are not, aware of what it is and how to use it. But once you cook it, it's so delicious. And so I would say, yeah, those nose to tail culture that we have, everything we eat, the cow foot, the cow head, whatever it is, it's just delicious parts of the animal.
As I mentioned, you're a Bruce Springsteen chef.
Yes, I am.
Does he have a favorite Jamaican dish?
Actually, yeah, he has a few, but I would say his go-to favorite is curried lobster.
Ooh.
And coconut rice with some side of plantains and some steamed vegetables. He loves the flavors of curry, and he loves the sweetness of the coconut milk. And whenever I make my curry, I always try to make condiments with it, right? To help to enhance the flavor of the curry. So usually it's two condiments. It's either a hot sauce, a Scotch bonnet hot sauce, but kind of mellow, and then you have a mango chutney or any chutney of its kind. It could be pineapple, So those combination of hot, sweet curry, the coconut rice, and of course roti as well. It's just like you're having a mini buffet because you can create your own flavor pockets, and I think that's one of the things that he really loves.
My son loves beef patties.
Uh-huh.
I just had to share that with you.
I make a pretty wicked beef patty.
I'm going to try.
It's in the book.
I'm going to try.
Look at that. Take a look at that patty in the book. It's like I put so much work into that recipes because it's something, I love my cuisine, and I want people to connect with that. I didn't want to do a quick project. This book took me 4 years because I did the research, I tested the recipes, and it's a great book.
That was my conversation with Chef Andre Fowles, author of the cookbook, My Jamaican Table, Vibrant Recipes from a Sun-Drenched Island. And that is all of it for today. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you. I'll meet you back here next time.